Hey friends, it is 5:40 on Monday night, January 22nd. I think it's January 22nd. And last night's dinner was so delicious. The brown butter potato celeriac mash was so good. And honestly, I think it was the brown butter that did it. But the celeriac had such a light and fluffy texture that even if your potatoes were not necessarily light and fluffy, the celeriac kind of just elevated and lifted it, and I really liked that. So I might do that again at some point. But because last night's dinner was really rich and hearty and very filling, tonight we are going to have something just a little bit lighter. So I went into the garden earlier today and picked out as many of the greens that I could find. We have baby bok choy that we were growing. We've got a couple of leaves of spinach, a couple of chard leaves, mustard greens, more chickweed, and a handful of kale. Here's a kale. Everything is so just kind of tiny right now. But this is one of the reasons I really love to grow these kind of winter hardy greens at this time of year, because it allows us to have that fresh crunch, that fresh vegetable texture, taste, flavor, crunch, and just kind of have those lighter meals in between the more heavier filling ones. So we're gonna have a salad. I also did take a small butternut squash that we had grown in the garden and peeled it, chopped it, coated it with a little bit of olive oil, maple syrup, salt, pepper, and dried sage. And I roasted that for about 30 minutes at 375. It's right there behind me. It's all done. It smells and looks great. And I took 3 chicken breasts and I soaked them in buttermilk for about an hour, hour and a half. And then I took some of our breadcrumbs along with some of the Redmond Real Salt all-purpose seasoning salt and coated the chicken. I had cut it up into pieces, coated the chicken, and now it is in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And so I found a little bit left over of kind of a lemon salad dressing in our fridge. I've got some toasted pecans, I've got some chopped apples, I've got some goat cheese, and I've got some apple juice sweetened cranberries. And so we are going to have kind of like a winter salad with our garden greens, our chicken, the goat cheese, the pecans, the apples, and our lemon dressing and the butternut. So I'm just gonna take some of these greens while the chicken is cooking, kind of break them up with my hand, and just start getting them into some bowls. I'm just going to sprinkle some of the apples. I've got both red and green apples. Toasted pecans. So the apples were from our last Azure order. I think I got 20 or 25 pounds, and we're down to, I think, 1 apple left. So our fresh produce is getting to slim pickings, especially after I've harvested all of these greens today. We don't have too many greens left in the garden because I don't envision they're gonna grow back quick enough. The pecans and other nuts that we have, I store them in the freezer. It keeps them so much longer, prevents them from getting rancid, right, and having the oils go bad. And I toasted them for about 10, 15 minutes, and then I let them cool and chop them. And with whatever nut you're doing, whether it be almonds, walnuts, pecans, toast it first. It changes the flavor. It makes it deeper and richer and just so much more satisfying, especially in a salad like this. Bon appetit.